Yes, cryptos are pumping, guys, which is a very beautiful sight to see, but we have to talk about the other portion of the story, which is possibly the collapse, maybe sooner than what people can imagine it to be. Breaking news from Gold Telegraph, the CEO of HSBC is warning that the world is at a tipping point on debt that threatens to spark a global reckoning after years of government borrowing binges. This is a massive bank. People are officially waking up, guys. It's actually happening. What were we talking about forever? Right? What were we talking about forever, guys? Again, when the time comes, what's going to happen? Chaos will ensue, right? People wouldn't know what's going to hit them, guys. That's how hard it has to get, right? Or bad. It seems like we have to go through the worst to get to the other side, right? Within this article, they say the world is at a tipping point, spark a global reckoning, guys, right? We're talking about, this is exactly what we have been talking about, but now they're saying it as well, guys. This is all from the horse's mouth, right? They basically just confirmed us that our theory, our speculation is going to come into fruition, right? Now, which year could it be? I don't know, guys. I'm thinking 24, 25, right? But that's just, take it with a grain of salt because it's speculation at the end of the day as well. But look what they say right here. The boss of HSBC has warned, guys, right? I don't know, but all these people look quite shook, don't they? Right after allowing borrowing to balloon, because that's what, how else can the economy collapse, right? First, things need to balloon out of proportion, guys, right? And then Ragnarok will take place. Now, he said, I'm concerned about a tipping point on fiscal deficits. When it comes, it will come fast, and I think there are a number of economies in the world where there could be a tipping point and it will hit hard, guys. 100%, right? This is just me and my opinion, guys. Before we see that tipping point, right, where the world falls off this cliff, we're first going to see Bitcoin and these cryptocurrencies pump and create a new all-time high, right? But that's just what I think, because they need to catch everyone off guard, right? The final hurrah, so to speak. Leaders from some of the world's largest banks are now speaking out against central banks and are sounding alarms about debt levels. This is how you know things are getting quite bad, guys, right? And now, do you guys want to know how bad, how terrible the economy is when these people are literally stating it? That's how you know it's officially horrendous. Why? Big banks are quietly, guys, right? Secretly, shush, don't let anybody know, but the proof is right here. These big banks are cutting thousands of employees, guys. You have to go. They're basically saying to these people, right, goodbye. And more layoffs are coming, guys, per CNBC. Again, right? Now, some people are speculating that a recession could be on the horizon. If a recession hits, everything is going to dump, guys, right? Plummet in price. And then they're literally going to turn on the money printer again and make everything pump like never before, guys. But the real question is, can a recession hit at this point? Or are they just going to inflate everything out of to the stratosphere and then implode it, right? Or collapse it? But again, during the collapse, look what's going to happen, right? No jobs, companies, businesses will go bankrupt, guys, because I'm telling you, when we talk about the collapse, guys, I don't talk about it lightly, right? You guys see the words I'm using. You guys hear the words I'm using, guys, right? It's going to be a wildfire, basically, right? Breaking. Banks are collapsing as we speak. This is not a drill. Right? The economy is going down while cryptos are pumping, guys. Remember, everything's flipped on its head. Bad news turns into good. That's the thing in today's world, it seems as, right? The same thing happened back in 2020. Bad news turned into good. How do we pump? Because we don't control the markets. They do. Whatever they want the markets to move, they make it happen, right? So these are certain stocks from banks: Citigroup Inc., Morgan Stanley, the Goldman Sachs Group, and then Bank of America Corporation, okay? Look at these stocks, guys. Minus 13%, minus 23%, minus 16%, minus 15%. Stop it. 4 of Wall Street's biggest banks have recently plummeted to levels not seen since the devastating March banking crisis. Year-to-date losses are staggering, with ranging from minus 15% to minus 24%, causing significant concerns for investors and overall market. Again, this is why perhaps if you have over 250k in your capital into a bank, guys, right, deposit it in a bank, maybe I'll just be very cautious. Okay, not financial advice, never financial advice. Everyone has free will, so you guys can do whatever you guys do wish to do. But maybe this is a cause for concern, right? As Jim Rickers would say, this is Jim Rickers, guys, right? An XC space IA agent. He said under 250k you should be good to go because of FDIC insurance. But above that, I don't know, guys. Maybe actually a better thing to do is to put it in multiple different banks, right? If you have so much money in a bank, but not financial advice. You guys can do whatever you do wish to. But guys, this I can't believe it, right? This hasn't happened since the March banking crisis, guys, right? Again, our banks are about to explode. It sure seems like, I remember, we're getting confirmed because we did talk about bank failures. They're not going to stop, guys. Johnson & Johnson, a $365 billion company, is considering bankruptcy, right? Look at these companies, guys. Now, while interest rates are very high, right? Look what's happening. Now, this is why we have to talk about this, the CME Fed Watch tool. The next FOMC meeting is in 6 days, guys, and 16 hours, okay? This is very, very, very important. Why? Because they're going to dictate where the markets will head towards next, how the economy is doing and whatnot, guys. So, we have been, the interest rates have been awfully high. This is why we're seeing breaking, the system is already breaking as we speak, guys, right? And the Fed already knows this. So, what are they going to do? Hold interest rates. As we can see, 97% of people believe, 97.6% of people believe they're going to hold interest rates, guys, right? And then 2.4% of people believe they're going to even cut by 25 basis points, but probably they're just going to hold it, right? If they raise it, it's literally game over. So they can't, basically. Now, this is a very interesting chart, okay? Because this shows inflation is following the exact footsteps of the 1970s. Economists are wrong about what's coming next, guys. A thread. Now, we're not going to read the thread at all, but this is the craziest picture I've ever seen, guys, or image about inflation, right? Data. Because consumer price index year over year percent change. Look at this, guys. It seems like we're following the inflation trend is following history, right? Many decades ago, from 1966 to 1983, and this is 2013 to present, this yellow line. The gray line was from so many decades ago. Look what happened here, guys, right? A first wave of inflation, they brought it back down. What happened again? Then next wave of inflation, right? If this happens now, guys, and if we follow the same trend and we go to the next wave of inflation, yeah, and the collapse is here. Because then it's going to be hyperinflation, guys. Not to mention, cryptos and stocks are going to rally when this occurs, or if this occurs, guys. This right here, right? Like never before. Crazier than what happened recently, guys, right? So, wow, guys. I don't know. Maybe they're going to orchestrate a recession here soon, right? Who knows what's going to happen? We don't have a crystal ball, nor are we insiders. They could orchestrate a recession soon, make inflation go back down, and then start the printing presses back up again, and then rise, right? Hyperinflation. And then the doomsday event takes place. Hungary Central Bank unexpectedly just cut its interest rates by 75 basis points, guys. The economy is breaking. They have to do this, right? Wow, that's insanity. 75 basis points. That's just insane. Look at the stock market. It's been dumping heavily, right? This is Google, by the way, and I'm guessing other stocks are following it. But I quickly glimpsed on the Dow Jones chart, guys, and the S&P 500. It looks like they're about to they're having, or I think this week when it closes, the candle closes this week, guys. End of this week, I'm going to let you guys know when it occurs. There's bullish divergences being formed as we speak, guys. Right? Indicators aren't going as low as before, but the price has plummeted. Right, which signifies, or which shows a bullish divergence. If that happens, guys, stock market will pump again. But we have to wait and see until the candle closes. Now, Jamie Dimon says central banks have 100% been dead wrong on the forecasts the past 18 months. But who's been right? We have, right? The retail people, we the people, guys. It's the funniest thing. These banks control the whole system, but they don't even know what's going on. It's because they want you to think that way. Of course they do, right? This was their whole game plan, guys, from the beginning of time, to bring upon the collapse slowly but steadily until one day it happens. What? Overnight. This is the leader of the largest bank in America for the first in history. I agree with Jamie. As we can see, look what he says right here.
I'm generally an optimist. I think you'd be foolish not to look at some of these things taking place today in Ukraine, Middle East. Obviously, my heart goes out for Ukraine, but also it's affecting oil, food prices, gas prices, migration, potential starvation is probably the most serious thing we faced. And I hear people talk about ESG all the time. I just would put on your table the most serious thing facing mankind is nuclear proliferation. If we're not sitting here 100 years from now, it will be nuclear proliferation. It's not climate. And so I think when you look at the geopolitical situation, as complex as we've seen, I don't know if it's 1948 or 1938. Obviously, we all hope it goes away. I think it's a little bit of wishful thinking. It's going to take real leadership on the part of many people out there. And then I look at the financial situation, the fiscal spending, which is more than it's ever. I'm talking about the United States, but it's almost true around the world. It's more than it's ever been in peacetime by a long shot, with the highest debt levels we've ever had by government. And there's this kind of omnipotent feeling that central banks and governments can manage through all this stuff. I'm cautious.
He's cautious, right? You know what that means, guys. Remember, these are the players in control, or supposedly are, because they're all puppets. But at least they're warning the people, which is a good thing. Now, the naysayers is preparing for the potential evacuations of hundreds of thousands of American citizens from the Middle East if the war escalates, right? There we go. Now, even Morgan Stanley reverses course on the housing market, seeing a lot of more pain ahead for home buyers. You don't say, guys, we talked about this. More pain will be coming in for homes, right? Commercial real estate, it doesn't matter, guys. I'm thinking the whole economy will blow up. If the whole damn economy blows up, everything else will blow up with it, guys. Nothing is safe. Maybe, I don't even know if cryptos are going to be safe, guys. I don't even think so, right? Maybe afterwards when they introduce a new system, then they will be. But again, just I don't know, guys. Things are going to get hectic. Not financial advice, but this is happening in China. China's real estate index is officially back down to 2009 levels, down minus 80% from its all-time highs, right? The real estate over there in China, guys, it's the levels back in 2008, right? This comes amid large rate cuts, ongoing stimulus, and severe weakness in Chinese real estate. Interesting. A recession in China incoming, guys. Happens always there first. Then you guys know, America. United States mortgage rate surges to 8.35%, the highest level in more than 23 years, and quickly approaching rates not seen since 1995, guys. People can't even afford the basic necessities, right? This is not a drill. People can't even buy homes. Nothing, guys. Again, when the collapse takes place, maybe we should invest in a home or so. Look at this, guys. Right? They're already going down. Homes are already looking quite terrible. As we can see, listed 22% below sale price, guys. Right? I think he bought it for 1.4 million and selling for 1.1 now. China is experiencing a USD funding crisis. Right? While China's banking system is in a free fall. And now China is being forced to sell US Treasury bonds and US stocks, guys. That's why the stock market has been going down. Wow. Not to mention, Christine Lagarde and all these people are still saying we need to bring inflation back down and whatnot, guys. Right? I don't think honestly, I think they're lying. Maybe they're not, right? They have been stubborn, but if they are going to bring it down, it's going to be good for the people, but bad for stocks and cryptos. But at the end, I believe the end goal, it leads all to the same path. It all leads to the same conclusion, which is the collapse. Not financial advice, so let's see what happens in the future, because things are getting crazy, aren't they? My name is Sophia's Amazingness. See ya. Not financial advice. There we go.